notes, although you should. It's normally a text and an email. So 2 questions. Do you catalog shop anymore? And what else would make the list of things you can live without? I would say other people's opinions. That would be a big thing for me. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you. And I needed a minute to get through it, but I really appreciate it.
You did a great job.
Thank you. I have kind of had a bee in my bonnet. I don't know why. There's stories that I keep circling back around to. I think you're probably tired of hearing about this one. But I was pretty excited about this $500 million battery materials plant, which was supposed to happen on the St. Louis North Riverfront neighborhoods, which could use an infusion of something. There's a lot of abandoned space and land up there. And there was an Israeli-based company that had proposed a project, and we were supposed to get this factory. And now we find out yesterday, I think St. Louis Magazine was the first place to report, it is officially dead. It was supposed to get 1,000 construction jobs and 153 permanent jobs to North St. Louis. In Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Energy's decision last month to eliminate a $197 million grant for the construction of the facility. When that went away, the company said, we decided that they're going to go someplace else. I know that Eric Schmidt has been kind of the lone voice standing up for President Trump's decision to cancel that grant, saying that there were some things that weren't done in a timely manner. Governor Kehoe and others have said, wait a second here, we really need to be thinking about factories and jobs in parts of North St. Louis where we have none, and this went away. But I just think it's one of those things for our community that we need to either, if we do have these opportunities, do whatever it takes to figure out how we can walk the funding through so it doesn't get pulled out at the end like this, or two, wonder why, really take a hard look at why the administration has the power to just yank stuff like that where the wheels are in motion to have this for our community. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
No, I'm with you 100% on that. That's, Whew. Thoughts on that? Come on aboard, 84126.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing something. You guys on the Royal Banks of Missouri text line, 84126 on this, but I can't see how it wasn't something that was not only necessary and good for economic development, but I don't have a clear understanding of why it was pulled and when it had already been approved and that money was there.
By the way, we are getting some text. We have some catalog shoppers out there. Good to hear. All right. Thought 3, some quickies. I thought I had a good day yesterday with decent shows and eating some great meatballs from Monique for dinner. But my day pales in comparison with Mizzou coach Dennis Gates. He locked up the best recruiting class in America in the morning and then beat Minnesota by 23 at night. Now that is a good day. So by now you've probably heard Jimmy Kimmel's wife opening up about lost relationships with family members because of politics. You know, I heard an interview this weekend with Joe Rogan and Russell Crowe, and I thought Russell Crowe brought up a really good point. Aren't we nuanced enough as human beings that we can disagree on politics and on subjects without ending a relationship? It's kind of crazy when you think about it, but that's what we've become. And along those lines, the people that I really admire are the ones who, when they disagree, they do it in such an agreeable way. Now, I didn't disagree, I don't think, in the 4 hours I work with Alvin Reed on anything, but his demeanor is so good that you could be on the other side from him on topics, which I'm sure I am on some topics, but you never feel like there's any tension. And, he's just a wonderful guy, and I just want to throw out a shout out to him. I think he did a good job in your absence.
Oh, I think he did a great job. I've heard from multiple people that he did a great job. And I don't know if some people are naturally born with that ability that you described, to be able to listen to another perspective and not turn it into a throwdown that creates a binary win-lose, but actually says, okay, let's hold the respect for each other in the differing opinions.
And the Russell Crowe line, I think, is really good. Shouldn't we be nuanced enough to think, okay, we're not going to agree on this, but it's cool. We're going to have a good relationship.
Yeah, it's something I talk about all the time, because I think we're better off the more able we are to try to understand each other better, instead of just to try to win arguments with each other. I think, despite the fact that we don't see it coming from political leadership necessarily, in either parties. And it's fair to say that Donald Trump has been a champion of this kind of division and divisive. I know we'll get those texts, and nobody will disagree with that. And then the other side is saying we're going to take a page from that book and do the exact same thing again, which is not, I think, necessarily good for anybody in the country. But I do think people are starting to get tired of it, and I think that's where the real change happens, is when regular folks quit looking to the political leaders to try to not stop being so divisive and binary, and we start looking back to each other to create those relationships and say, life is about more than this.
Can you imagine being a lifelong friend or having a family member and you are on the opposite side politically, and I cannot be friends with this person again, or I can't talk to them, I can't be around them? It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's what we've gotten to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens in high conflict situations when we create enemies out of those in front of us. On a much lighter note, I don't know about you guys. I love apples, and we're in the height of apple season. Connor's it has some background in Michigan. When I was in Michigan a few weeks ago, I swear, I mean, it was literally one of the most perfect things from nature I've ever taken in my mouth was a fresh picked apple.
There's lots of apples up there.
There's lots of apples up there. Somebody told me that they're one of the best, especially any fruit with a seed, they're really good at, or a pit, they're very good at growing them up there. But one of my favorite apples, maybe you guys are with me, is the Honeycrisp. I don't know if you saw this Wall Street Journal article, but I thought it was pretty interesting. It's one of the most popular, it's become one of the most popular kinds of apples. Do you know the Honeycrisp that I'm talking about?
I do not.
It's okay. I'm going to bring one in for you. It is exceptionally better than a lot of other apples. It's kind of sweet and tart at the same time.
I'm sure you've had it, Frank. It's really the best apple.
It's the creme de la creme, though. It's kind of expensive, so maybe
like a Straub's thing or what?
Well,
you can get them at the other grocery stores.
You can get them anywhere, but they do tend to cost a little more. And according to the Wall Street Journal, and that's because they are. They came originally from a graduate student from the University of Minnesota breeding program, and then over time, they became so popular and widespread. But they're apparently incredibly finicky to grow.
Oh,
they're very hard to grow, and so in the apple growing capital of, which is Washington State, not Michigan, unfortunately, they describe her as a diva, an absolute diva in terms of the difficulty in growing her, but well worth it because the American marketplace loves it so much. So I don't think anybody, when I was a kid, it was like the apples you would get like in your school lunch or whatever were red delicious, which I was always like, these are not delicious. And I didn't think I even liked apples because what we were served forever was red delicious. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, I like a yellow apple, or the Fuji is a really good one. Now I feel like red delicious you hardly ever see except for bacon apple pies.
So the official title of this apple is
Honeycrisp.
It's like red with kind of like green splotches almost.
Okay. Yeah, if you text Monique and ask her if you've eaten Honeycrisp apples, I guarantee you have tried them before.
Speaking of food, real quick, I was at the Sheraton just for a second, and they have some kind of big banquet there, and the humongous chocolate chip cookies were out. And I could have, in my younger days, with a quick right hand, just taken one and no one would have seen it. But I'm too slow now.
You have
when
taken
you mean
one.
younger days, you mean like 2 months ago when you said you did that very
I did
same.
that one time.
Was it one of the biggies then? I didn't know it was on the big.
They're humongous. There's like 200 of them down there. Big, huge chocolate chips. I'm thinking, nobody's looking at me. But if they did, they'd say, oh, my God, that sportscaster stealing a chocolate chip. So I didn't.
Yeah.
I think about it, though.
I know one of the events people there. Maybe we could just get like a pre-permission for you if we say positive things about them.
Yeah,
Can we?
Sheraton. They have chocolate strawberries down there too. You're probably a fan of those, aren't you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who
I don't
isn't?
know anybody who's not. Oh my gosh, I'm so freaking hungry. Okay, we'll take a short time out. Don Marsh will join us when we come back.
Everyone's talking about these weight loss drugs, and it's a good thing we've got Dr. Joe Molesky with us, a St. Louis native and board-certified primary care physician. Dr. Joe, it can get very confusing, but the one thing we need to know is GLP-1, right? That's the magic cure.
The magic cure is these weight loss shots. They're injected once weekly. They're not like the old medications that you've seen 20, 30 years ago. These medications actually work. They're injected once weekly, and patients see within the first 90 days 10 to 15 pounds down. It simply works, and that's why I recommend it to all of my patients. You simply go online, book an appointment, you fill out a health questionnaire form, you get an appointment on our schedule. It's all telemedicine based. It's all done from your home, and then you meet with me or one of my nurse practitioners, and then after the 10, 15-minute consult, the medication is delivered right to your door discreetly, and you get started right now on your weight loss journey.
And you want to start to lose weight? none better than to call stlmedweightloss.com and ask Dr. Joe. stlmedweightloss.com.
Let's talk about a getaway where you're not spending all the time on the road. How about Innsbruck? Think about it. You could go from your desk to a canoe and do some fishing in about 25, 30 minutes. They've got A-frames, they got tree houses, or if you're looking for a place to live that's away from hustle and bustle, custom homes and condos as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. Have you been out? Have you looked? Go to Innsbruck-resort.com to find your getaway.
It's Julie Buck here for AAA Travel. 'Tis the season for the gift of travel. You can do that with our friends at AAA Travel. You know the company, AAA, we all do. We've counted on them in numerous emergency situations, and they've been there time and time again. But did you know that you can travel with AAA? That's right, they will book the entire trip. What a great gift that would be. The gift of travel this holiday season, and you can do it with AAA Travel. Go to AAA.com and click the travel tab.
Most people think if I name my husband as beneficiary, everything's going to be okay, and that's not necessarily true.
I'm Scott Garcia with Premier Estate and Income Planning.
What am I doing taking care of people after somebody has passed and all the mess that comes with that?
And I'm Jennifer Cermak, Chief Counsel and Estate Planning Attorney of Premier Estate and Income Planning.
No longer is the attorney the gatekeeper to your lives.
Let us show you how to protect your assets, avoid probate, and retire with confidence.
Having an estate plan could be the most important document you could ever have.
The Premier Income and Estate Planning Show, this Saturday at 4 and this Sunday morning at 7 on the Big 550 KTRS.
At Maryville University, we power dreams, not just degrees. For nearly 150 years, we've empowered graduates to build successful careers. At Maryville, expect a rigorous, technology-driven, mentor-inspired education in a diverse and inclusive learning environment. We help you take it to the next level, no matter what field you choose. Now is the time to turn your ambition into action and transform your dream into reality. Start your journey at maryville.edu.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
Busch Stadium isn't just a ballpark. It's where St. Louis comes alive. It's where every pitch matters and every cheer feels like home. Season tickets put you right at the heart of it all. And now there's a new way to be all in. Introducing 20-game season ticket plans. Get all the season ticket benefits with more flexibility than ever. Don't miss your chance to own your piece of 2026. Learn more at cardinals.com/tickets.
What goes great with Mizzou Tigers football? Well, Dogtown Pizza, of course. And with 12 different flavors to choose from, you can have a different pizza every game.
Pepperoni peppercini, hot chicken, the SOB sausage onion bacon, and the newest addition to the lineup, meatball mozzarella.
Forget the pumpkin spice. The best fall flavor is football and pizza. MIZDOG. Dogtown Pizza and dogtownpizza.com. Dogtown Pizza, and check out all 12 flavors online at dogtownpizza.com.
Back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Our restaurant of the day is going to be Frida's. Natasha Kwan coming in at 11 o'clock. Patrick Risch talking gambling from Washington University at 11:35. But right now we welcome Don Marsh, former KTVI news anchor and a long run at KWMU Radio. Yesterday on the program, we discussed his ending at KWMU, where he complimented Karen Foss on her appearance, and that led to his dismissal. We also were talking with Sarah Fensky yesterday, and we want to play this clip about Don, and then Don is here to respond. Let's play the soundbite. Don joins us now. Welcome to the program and your response to that.
Hi, Frank. Nice to talk to you. And Jill, my condolences to you. I know it's a very sad week for you. Sorry to hear the news.
Thanks, Don.
Oh, okay, let's begin, Frank, with your introduction. I was not dismissed from KWMU. I quit simply because I didn't want to remain in that atmosphere where people were making the kind of accusations that Sarah mentioned. Let me point out that Sarah Fensky didn't join that staff until about 6 months after I left. And when she got there, she obviously was listening to people who had an axe to grind. I did not say what she said about taking Steve Stenger's assistant home with me. What I did say was when Stenger, I should point out, was very, very nervous during his appearance there because he was about to go to jail. And he was really, really uptight. And I tend to, when I am interviewing people, try to make them feel comfortable beforehand. Frank and Jill, you probably do the same thing. Well, he was uptight, and this young lady came in. She was very, very attentive to him, very sweet to him. And as she was leaving the room, she was still there. She was still in the room as she was leaving. And I said, boy, I'd like to take her home with me. I said that in the context of a compliment, actually. That's the way Stenger received it, because he said, yeah, she is really great. That was the context in which it was placed. Fensky has it wrong. It was misrepresented. And frankly, Frank, your reaction to that put me on alert because you bought it. You said, oh, wow, I didn't know that. That changes things. Words to that effect. And I'm thinking there are a lot of listeners who are probably thinking the same thing. It's just not true. It's a misrepresentation of fact. Now, Fensky gets a lot of kudos around town for her repertorial skills. One skill she doesn't have when it came to this story was seeking the other side. She's made public comments before. She's never tried to contact me. I've never met the woman, but there are two sides to this story, and I want to make sure that the public knows that. I'm still a quasi-public figure in this community, and I can't have someone like Fensky running around implying that I'm a dirty old man or a creep or some filled with salacious comments about people. Not true, and I'd really resent it.
Yeah, well, that's why we wanted to have you on today. And when you were on the text line yesterday, I didn't know it was actually you, and then Jill and I discussed the topic today, and we thought it would be a good idea for you to share your side of the story.
Yeah, and I have to say, we have our hats as journalists and as and trying to be objective about situations, and then we have our own lived experience. And I had the lived experience of being a young woman in my 20s working with you, Don, and you were extremely good to me in a newsroom where there certainly were some sexist people. So I come at this with a lot of bias, having worked with you and felt very respected by you and treated very well. Somebody who probably was punching above my weight in my first job when I came to St. Louis at 24, and so I get that. In our attempt isn't necessarily to relitigate the situation, but there was a climate at the time when you left the station where women were starting to say, listen, there's been a way that people have talked to women in newsrooms for a long time now, and it isn't okay. I want to hear your perspective on that, because you've written about it in novels since then, about the fact that women were treated as sex objects often in the industry. And I want to know your perspective as an observer of that, and then as somebody who was then ultimately accused of being part of that.
Okay, let me just ask you, Jill, did you ever during your time at Channel 2 ever hear any comment about me being the dirty old man, the creep, the guy?
No. Of course not. We've talked about this before, Don, too, and you know that we had the utmost respectful professional relationship, and I never heard anything negative.
Yeah, thank you for that. There was one other incident at KWMU that these people are referring to. Let me remind you that they had a specific axe to grind about me. I could make a great case about ageism there at Channel 2. The young people there were, I think, anxious to get the old guy out of the way so that they could move up the ladder. But leave that as it may. I did an exit interview with a guy at Channel 2 who was a longtime journalist in St. Louis, very highly respected. He was 75 years old, and he was leaving the station. I did the exit interview, and during the course of that interview, he was very complimentary of a young producer, female, who had worked with him and done a very good job for him. she was also a producer on my program. At the end of that interview, she came into the studio, threw her arms around him, and thanked him profusely for having said such nice things about her. And I said, "Hey, guys, get a room." Have you ever heard a comment like that before? Totally in jest. I was 80 years old myself at the time. Let's put that in perspective, too. When I'm talking about a dirty old man, I'm talking about a really old man. Anyway, that was the context. 5 days later, she came into the office with a supervisor and said, "You dissed me the other day, and I want an apology." And I said, "How did I do that?" And she says, "Why don't you get a room" comment. And I said, "Well, gee, I'm sorry." And I did apologize to her. And that I thought was the end of that. But it took her 5 days to realize that she had been somehow insulted. So once again, I am quite sure, and I can't prove it, but I'm quite sure that she was put up to that by another staffer who I think was probably involved in this other incident as well. But I can't prove it. But there was more going on there than meets the eye. And that's why I wanted to get out of there. The two people who called me in the next day after this comment that Fensky referred to, called me in and said, I said, after the Foss incident, I should say, I said, "Do you really think that I disrespected Karen Foss by saying she looked great?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm done. I'm out of here." So, Frank,
okay.
dismissed.
I got it.
I was giving them the finger, Frank, if you really want to know what I was doing. And that was the end of that. By the way, the overwhelming support I got after that Foss incident, as I said, was overwhelming, and I think was fully justified. And I think you two people, well, your initial reaction to that was probably the same. But some people didn't look at it that way. And believe me, it was a number of staffers, a small number of staffers at KWMU. I'm pissed about this. I have a reputation that I like to uphold, and I'm out of the business now, but I'll be damned if I want to let somebody come in who doesn't get two sides of the story and make the kinds of accusations that Sarah Fensky did.
And what was Karen Foss's reaction after the comment? One more time for the audience who doesn't know about this.
She wrote a long letter in total support of me. We've been in contact ever since. We've had a number of discussions about many things. One of my books was a book of the month at the Jewish Book Festival, and she did the interview with me on that. Karen Foss couldn't have been more supportive, as were a lot of people, including many people at the station. But there were a few who wanted Marsh out of there, and I obliged them.
Don, we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the chance.
All right, Don Marsh joining us on the Frank and Jill Show.
Yeah, and thanks for we have people texting in saying, nope, any comment about anybody's appearance was not okay, and it was time for a new era. We appreciate those perspectives on this, and as well, and thanks. I very much appreciate Sarah's contribution to our show every week. She does a great job and her perspective, and I appreciate Don taking the time to give his perspective on this as well.
By the way, I don't want to bury the lead here because you've lost your mother and you did that incredible eulogy earlier on the program, and the responses have been magnificent. What an incredibly beautiful tribute to your mother, Jill. Comforting thoughts to you among the many texts we're getting. Oh, Jill, such a beautiful tribute to your mom. I'm so sorry. Prayers for Jill and family. My mom is gone since 1986, still a hard one. Jill, so sorry you lost your mother. It's hard to get through, and you never get over it. There's really an element of truth in that, but it does get better eventually, from Carol. So thank you so much for the kind text for Jill and her family.
I mean, seriously, how amazing are our listeners in a world where, I know sometimes we took you guys off and you're not afraid to give us your straight thoughts on things. We appreciate that as well. But to take the time to text those loving and meaningful comments to me, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's really great. And I also need to say out loud, Frank and Connor, you guys have been incredible. It's not easy when somebody, it just kind of says, I'm not going to be here for the next week unexpectedly like this. And per usual, you were incredibly professional and kind and supportive so that I didn't have to be thinking about work, which I wasn't until I got back today. So thank you guys for that as well. I really appreciate it. You're also going to be thanking us if you reach out to our friend Jeff Zufall. senior tax strategist, wealth advisor at Capital Advisory Group. Jeff comes out and says, just point blank, that if you are not paying attention to the tax side of your money, you are going to have a harder time reaching your retirement goals. Everybody else talks about, tightening belts, saving, having a saving strategy plan, where you're investing your money. He does all that, of course, like anybody in wealth management does. But when wealth managers are ignoring the very important side of the tax strategy part of things and really understanding the latest in tax laws and making sure that you're not overpaying on your taxes, you're walking away. Sometimes by the time you get retirement, you're looking at a lot of money that could have been there to support you and your retirement dreams. So that's why Jeff and his team love talking to you now, before we get in the thick of tax season, to look at past returns and see where you are tax-wise. All you have to do is reach out to them, set up an appointment, have a meeting, and you'll really like what they're able to do for you as you're moving forward. CapitalAdvisoryGRP.com, 636-394-5524.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, "What is the phone number to Michael Baldy?" If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Galmish & Sons have been providing quality heating and cooling services since 1950. They work exclusively with Lennox, the preferred choice of St. Louis homeowners. Call Galmish & Sons for your next Lennox HVAC installation and service. 314-993-1110.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Tune in Mondays to the Frank and Jill Show for Success St. Louis Style as they feature a St. Louis and making a difference in our community. Brought to you by the St. Louis Chess Club.
Building champions in the classroom and the community. Online at stlouischesskclub.org.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Mizzou football on the Big 550 KTRS is powered by Graybar.
High snap, good place, kick is up, and it is good.
This Saturday evening, your Mizzou Tigers host Mississippi State for a 6:45 kickoff. Pre-game begins at 4:45.
Catch all the action right here on the Big 550 KTRS. Presented by Graybar for all your electrical and datacom solutions.
Welcome back to Frank and Jill Show on a Thursday morning. I'm having a little trouble remembering what day of the week it is. That's what happens when you come into first day of your week is on a Thursday. I'm Jill Farmer, Frank Cusimano, Connor McCarthy here as well. I'm sorry I missed the Costas interview on Monday. I did have that thought when I woke up Monday morning, even though Sunday had been an extraordinarily exhausting, wrung out day. And I was like, oh, dang, I hate to miss that conversation. Is he as good as ever?
Yeah, hasn't lost his fastball.
I will be
Even
going
though
back
he
to
says
listen.
he's lost his fastball, he has not. I was thinking that, as a gift to you coming back is we could do John Hamm, but I'm trying to think, what's my hook with him right now? Anything series-wise coming out, Connor?
No, I think he's just working on
Commercials? Lots of them?
lots of commercials,
Everything.
and I think I guess season 2 of Your Friends and Neighbors will start soon-ish because they said they're going to do that. But
Did Landman come out last week? Has that been released?
I don't know if that
Billy
has that
Bob's
started?
been making the
he wouldn't be
talk
on
shows.
But
lately.
he wouldn't be on that.
I mean,
right?
obviously,
No, he's dead.
when there's a movie that that comes out, they do the rounds. But also in the world of streaming, it's always good for him to come talk about the stuff that's still out there that people could watch on streaming. So that's my argument to
That's
say.
the sales pitch.
And
huh?
he might have a little more time on his hands if he's in between stuff. This might be a really good time. I think you have a very good idea there. I think we should honor that.
We should honor you by doing that.
Landman back on Sunday. This Sunday.
This Sunday. Oh, my gosh. The anticipation of that, it's going to be crazy. I tell you, Billy Bob, I know, he's not for everybody. But when you see him on a talk show, he was on The Tonight Show. He was also on Rogan. There's nothing uninteresting about Billy Bob Thornton. He's just fascinating to listen to.
Yeah, there's something about him that reminds me a little bit of, I don't know why, but James Carville, and that you're just like, you kind of just know he's going to say whatever he thinks.
Low filter.
With low filter, and the cadence of his voice and the way he talks, it's so like somebody you've met in real life that
Yeah.
there's something very relatable about that, I think.
He told the story on Rogan just about how he used to fight a lot, growing up in Arkansas, and just got in heavy brawls as like a 17 or 18-year-old. It was like fascinating to listen to. So
Yeah, were you somebody who got in fights? I think 'cause people either, everybody has a few at some point in their life, but there's some people that tend to get more than others. Where were you on that spectrum?
not fist fights. It's ironic that the last almost fight I got into was a guy who's become almost my best friend, Bob McCormick. We were roommates, teammates. But when he was at CBC, they actually beat us one time, and I was playing for the Smet, and late in the game, I just came over by the bench, completely unwarranted, and just shoved my shoulder right into him, right into his chest area, and their coach went nuts, and Coach Grauer said, they're going over to Coach Grauer and said, you know what he just did? And Coach Grauer said, did you do that? I said, no, Coach, I didn't do anything. But that's the last real physical confrontation I've had.
That's good. That's good. If it's the last time you did
Life's
something
too
that
short to
regrettable in high school. How about you, Connor? Were you a fighter?
No, not really.
Plus, you had the physical stature to be able to
big-
say
kinda
somebody
bigger
wasn't
than a
going to
lot of
win.
people, yeah.
They were not going to win that for sure. Hey, we have a lot more coming up in the next hour. You're going to want to hear all about it, so make sure you keep your dial right here. We'll be back after the news.
I'm Jeff Zufall with Capital Advisory Group. If you own a small business, you need to protect yourself from becoming a target of unscrupulous actors. We can help protect you. Since 1976, thousands of area businesses have relied upon Capital Advisory Group to secure our clients' most sensitive tax data while helping them get their financial plans in order, reduce their future tax liability, and stop overpaying their federal and state income taxes. Give Capital Advisory Group a call at 636-394-5524 to protect and plan for 2026 or online at capitaladvisorygrp.com.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit,
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis.
Live and local.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. After a 43-day shutdown, the government is slowly opening up. The stopgap measure signed into law by President Trump last night will fund the government through the end of January. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers are being asked to return to work. They'll soon get back pay, but federal contractors like Willie Joe Price are out of luck.
How much stress, does this put on you to go this long without a paycheck?
It's hard. In the process, during this shutdown, my car broke down.
She's a cafeteria worker at the Library of Congress and has not been paid in more than 40 days.
It could take into next week before air travel returns to normal after the FAA restricted airspace to ensure safety due to the strain on air traffic controllers. ABC's Trevor Ault is in LAX.
Now, the positive note is that this is coming together a few weeks before the travel rush for the holidays really gets going, and the airlines say they're not expecting any residual impacts from the shutdown for Thanksgiving travelers.
After being sworn in yesterday, Arizona Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva became the final signature needed on the discharge petition, calling on the Justice Department to release the full Epstein files. Speaker Mike Johnson now says he plans a vote on that bill next week. Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson has been hospitalized in Chicago. The Rainbow Push Coalition says the 84-year-old is under observation for a neurodegenerative disorder. Today in France, they're marking 10 years since the deadly string of terror attacks in Paris when Islamic terrorists opened fire in cafes and restaurants and a popular music hall. Here's ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge.
There's a really subdued atmosphere, and we just had a moment's silence because the commemoration for the victims at the Bataclan, remember that's that concert hall not far from here where 90 people were killed.
In all, 130 people were killed. You're listening to ABC News.
Scott, can you believe it's already been more than a decade since the Queen of Carpets sold flooring to St. Louis area contractors?
I know, but I don't have to be a king to offer contractors today's lowest prices.
Yes, contractors owe it to their customers and themselves to shop at Best Buy Flooring for the largest in-stock selection of carpet, carpet tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, luxury vinyl plank, and luxury vinyl tile.
Plus 3 convenient locations, North County, South County, and Metro East.
Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy. Best Buy Flooring.
The holidays are all about joy, but let's be honest, they can also throw our health goals off track. Heidi here for Premier U. At Premier U, it's not about restriction, it's about restoration. Their personalized weight loss programs are designed to help you feel your best, mind, body, and hormones included. So whether you want to start strong before the holidays or feel incredible heading into the new year, Premier U will help you look good, feel better, and live your premier life because you deserve to give yourself the gift of health this season.
57 degrees at 11:03 with KTRS News. I'm Steve Potter. A funding measure to end the government shutdown passed the House last night without the support of Congressman Wesley Bell. The representative from St. Louis County joined all but 7 Democrats in opposing the legislation that made it out of the Senate on Monday after a handful of them joined the Republican majority. Democrats refused to pass the legislation for over 40 days, saying that it must contain legislation that extends the Obamacare tax credits, which are set to expire soon. Bell said he couldn't support a deal that turns its back on working families. Wildwood has announced that it is preparing again to cull its deer population.
The city of Wildwood is preparing for its third consecutive deer culling season to address concerns over high deer density and public safety. Hundreds of deer-related crashes have been reported in the city over the last several years, most notably along Missouri Routes 100 and 109. Deer culling is essentially reducing the deer population and addressing a surplus through methodical hunting practices. Wildwood is hoping to reduce the population by 1,000 deer over 5 years. Once the deer are culled, they are either donated to the St. Louis Zoo, Missouri Department of Conservation for processing, or distribution to local food banks in accordance with state laws. For more information, go to their website, cityofwildwood.com. Sobey Bay, KTRS News.
The Missouri Arts Council has announced the winners of its 2026 Missouri Arts Awards, with 3 going to the St. Louis area. The winner in the Arts Education category is the Community Music School of Webster University for providing music education for about 1,200 students every year. Erin Wardner-Prange, the Executive Director of St. Louis Dance Theater, received the Leadership in Arts Award for her work with that group that's produced both major productions and community shows. And David and Thelma Stewart were recognized for their philanthropy over 4 decades, supporting numerous projects including jazz education at the University of Missouri, the Black Rep, the Muni, and the Evolution Festival. The last call for alcohol will now come 1 hour earlier at Alton Bars.
The Alton City Council voted 5-2 last night to end late-night liquor licenses. This means all bars will have to stop serving alcohol by 1 a.m. every day. The current policy stops sales at 2 a.m. on weekdays and 3 a.m. on weekends. Supporters believe this will improve public safety and reduce late-night disturbances. Now, bar owners packed last night's meeting to voice opposition to the measure, saying it will hurt their businesses. Jill Enders, KTRS News.
And Habitat for Humanity of St. Charles County is hosting its annual Frame the Future event on Saturday. The nonprofit works to support sustainable home ownership opportunities for families by creating affordable homes. Tomorrow's event also includes its annual holiday tree auction. This KTRS Business Minute brought to you by Walter Knoll Florist, the place for all your floral needs. Place your order anytime at WKF.com. A drive-through coffee shop is planning its first location in St. Louis County. Dutch Brothers Coffee has submitted a zoning application to build in Kirkwood. The rapidly growing coffee shop chain opened its first St. Louis area location in March in O'Fallon, Missouri, and opened its first coffee shop in Illinois in the Glen Carbon-Edwardsville area in September. The market's brought to you by JBL Financial. Tune in to Straight Talk on Retirement Saturday mornings from 9 to 11. The Dow is down 440 points at 47,813. NASDAQ down 436 at 22,970. And the S&P 500 down 83 at 6,767. In sports, Lou Soccer advanced to the A10 championship match with a win over Davidson. The Billikens will play 3-seed Dayton for an automatic bid to the national tournament on Sunday. And Mizzou football is a 7.5-point favorite over Mississippi State Saturday night in Columbia. We're looking for mostly sunny skies today, an afternoon high of around 65, mostly clear tonight with an overnight low around 50, sunny tomorrow and warmer with a high of 76. At 7 minutes past 11 o'clock, sunshine, 57 degrees at the Gold Tower at Westport. Steve Potter, KTRS News, the talk of St. Louis.
And now,
feed me Seymour.
I like to eat.
It's time for the Kuno Food Service Weekly Special.
Yum, 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 yum.
Right here on KTRS, the talk of St. Louis.
All right, we are excited. Today, the restaurant in the house is Frida's. Natasha Kwan is in our studio as we speak, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was like 5 years ago. My wife said we're going to go to this restaurant. I looked at the menu and thought, no, I don't know. And then I went, and I've gone back and back and back, and the food is unbelievable. Great to be with you. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning. Glad to be here.
All right, so the world's ending. Your last 2 or 3 entrees that you would eat at Frida's.
Oh, my goodness. I would do the steak bites.
Which we had last week, which were insane.
I would do whatever soup I've made because I love soup. And, oh, goodness, I would do our chef salad.
Ooh.
Because it's my personal salad.
Very nice.
I remember going to Frida's for the very first time. What year did you guys open?
2012.
Okay, so back in 2012. And just being blown away by a lot of my own, I thought, okay, yeah, I should eat probably more plant-based and we all need more vegetables in our life. I was shocked. Remember having something that had a cashew-based sauce that tasted exactly like the gooeyest, yummiest cheese I'd ever had. And I realized you were really out of the box and really ahead of the curve in a lot of ways when it came to making really good food really healthy food taste so delicious.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. Yes, I should probably bring that cheese back, the cashew cheddar. It was delicious.
Good memory there, Jill. Good
Yeah.
memory.
It's been off of our menu for a while, but yeah, people still bring it up.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do live for cheese, so I could use a healthier version for sure. But you were kind of ahead of the game, at least for St. Louis on this. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely, yeah, because no one was really doing any health-related food, and we were really focused on nutrient-based food. And people changed and our menu changed. We didn't have potatoes, for the first 9 months because I'm like, they're too high in sugar. It's high glycemic. And now we go through, with all of our restaurants, probably 200 pounds of potatoes a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so I do love the potato.
The cooking skills. You've been voted the Chef of the Year by the Post-Dispatch and St. Louis Magazine. Where did this come from? How did you learn?
Self-taught. It's really interesting because I'm not a good home cook at all. And cooking in a commercial kitchen is a whole other level, and I really, really enjoy it. I was front of the house for a very long time. I started my career in restaurants when I was, 17 years old. And I continued and I watched and I learned and I watched and I watched and I learned. And then I was finally able to do my own thing, and it just came. And I'm still learning. So we're cooking meat now. I've never done that. I just learned how to fry maybe 5 years ago. Actually, yeah. So I'm still learning. Yeah, I'm doing a catering where I'm cooking bison. I've never cooked bison before, so yeah.
And then talk about that decision. Why did you guys decide to? And first of all, we need to say Frida's, and then of course you expanded into how many restaurants do you guys have
4
total?
now, right?
Correct, 4.
Mm-hmm. And the names are?
We have Frida's and Bonito Bar. We have next door Diego's Cantina, station number 3 in Benton Park, and station number 3 in Kirkwood.
Yep. And so was the idea that you wanted to add meat to the menu, healthy meat options to the menu, in response to just public request, or what led to that decision?
Really, after COVID, everything changed, and we realized, wow, anyone can go get a vegetarian or vegan meal at any restaurant. So every restaurant was my competitor. So we decided to at first add seafood because that was an easy one. I'm personally pescatarian. And then it just led to offering more options. We just put our first beef item on Diego's menu. I mean, we've been a Mexican restaurant. This is for over 5 years now, and we just started using beef 4 months ago. This is like a huge step for us, but we don't have any pork products at any of the restaurants.
And I want to let our audience know that some would never think about going to a restaurant like this. It's unbelievable. The bacon turkey cheeseburger, which I had the last time, homemade turkey burger, crispy turkey bacon, white cheddar, spring mix, tomato, onion, and what is that, a Dijonnaise brioche?
A Dijonnaise, and it's on brioche, yeah.
Oh,
and the
wow.
Dijonnaise is, it's vegan. So all of our sauces are dairy-free, egg-free.
Wait, I think we got to get back to your cooking skills. Your career's in marketing. If you don't come from a restaurant family and you're in marketing, how does this, did somebody wave a magic wand and just give you cooking ability?
No, well, it's so funny. So I had a really great career. I made good money, but I always worked in restaurants or nightclubs. So that's what I did in my off time. So I was always in the industry. I've been in the industry over 35 years now, I believe. And, you couldn't keep me out of a restaurant. I didn't need the money. I just did it out of the love of it.
It's just in your blood. We were talking a little bit off air too. An interesting, something interesting has happened for many, many people in our St. Louis region, unfortunately, health-wise, that has created a whole new crop, if you will, of vegans. And it's a tick-borne illness that makes people highly allergic to any kind of meat, like allergic enough that they can go into their throat will close. And so that's been an interesting new crop of clients for you guys. What's the name of I'm forgetting the name.
Alpha-Gal.
Alpha-Gal is the tick-borne illness. But I've run into more people in the last few years that are like, now I'm become a vegan because I've been forced to, and they love that you guys have offerings that they know are safe.
Yeah, and it's an interesting group of people. You would never expect them to, even go to a vegan place, now they're forced to, because they can get very sick. They could potentially die because of the allergy, and we have them coming in every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and Missouri is so tick heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just going to become more of an issue.
I want to get people hungrier now. The pasta con broccoli is one of your all-time favorite dishes. You do it with the mushrooms. Tell me about this one.
It's cremini mushrooms, roasted tomato, spinach, shells, and a dairy-free cream sauce.
Ooh.
That we put white wine in, some rosemary, garlic. It's absolutely delicious. But it's not heavy. That's the thing. Like, you can eat any of our pastas because they are dairy-free. Now, you can have it topped with Parmesan.
Mm-hmm.
Or vegan Parmesan to be 100% vegan, but it is just delicious. It's filling, but not heavy. So you don't want to come out of eating a pasta just feeling like, oh, now I need to take a nap.
That's like with fettuccine Alfredo. God bless everybody who makes it. But after 3 bites, you're about done. And you feel terrible afterwards. How about, are you with me on fettuccine Alfredo?
Oh yeah, it smells so good, and I get lured into that first bite, and then my stomach always says later on, why'd you do that to yourself? I get it. We always love to ask restaurateurs who come in if they're not if you're not eating at one of your incredible 4 restaurants, where do you love to go out and get a bite to eat?
Oh my goodness. Lately it's been Il Palato.
Il Balago in Creve Coeur?
No, Il Palato in Clayton.
Okay, tell me about that.
It's an Italian restaurant. I love the halibut there. I love the staff. Del Pietro, the owner, is amazing.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Michael, so we're trying to get Michael on. Yeah.
Yeah, so we take my father-in-law almost weekly. Yeah,
really
so we
nice.
just do a nice dinner there once a week. And it's just nice. It's cozy. The food is great. Everyone can eat there. My husband's gluten-free, and it's accommodating to him.
We do hear from restaurateurs occasionally that they really are picky about where they go, not only because of the food, but they want the experience to be relaxing for them, because otherwise they're kind of trying to do, in their mind, they're trying to do the job of the people at the restaurant better. And so that's fun that you found a place that just, they're going to do it exactly
and
right.
I know the staff. We've been going there for years and years. And it's just kind of our own place. But we only get to go out maybe, once a week is a lot.
Remember when he first opened up Sugo's, and everybody was so excited because it was like really good pastas for a really good price. And that place, I think it's still really rocking. But yeah, Michael Del Pietro is one of the best. All right, I got to tell you about your desserts. So I had the flourless chocolate torte. It was really good. But there's one thing on this menu. I don't know how you could make it good. It's called avocado mousse. Now, how could that taste good?
Oh, it's so good. And avocado is so good for you. Everyone should be eating avocado.
But as a dessert.
As a dessert. So this recipe originated, the original one was no chocolate. And it's a Filipino recipe. So I grew up eating it, and we would, we got the one avocado in the house, and we'd mash it up and put sugar and sweetened condensed milk. And, well, that's just too much. I'm not going to do that now. So we use just regular avocado, Dutch alkaline cocoa. So the cocoa has to be really good. It has to have a lot of butter fat. So if you try to make this at home, and people do, add more cocoa to that avocado than you think is appropriate. And then we use raw organic agave, and that's it.
It's so, I've had it before. You cannot believe you're not eating a fine chocolate mousse. It's so creamy.
Really?
It's really
That's
creamy.
amazing.
Is that fair? Would you say that's fair?
It's absolutely
silky,
like that.
creamy.
Oh, nice. Natasha Kwan is with us. The restaurant is Frida's, and one of the reasons for your success is your affiliation with Kuna. Tell me what they've meant to you.
Oh, my goodness. I love Kuna so much. One, they're locally owned, and I really like to support local, 100%. 2, we have one of the painful ordering systems ever, because we have everything that's dairy-free and vegan and soy-free. And I'm always asking Kate, our rep, hey, can you find me this and find me that? And it's not easy. It's not to, hit the criteria that we expect from our vendors, but she's been so helpful. She brings me samples, and, our success is because of Kuna, and I love them, and their prices are really good.
Awesome. Well, it's an honor to have you in. Continued success. We recommend everybody hitting Frida's right there. It's north and south. What's the address?
622 north and south is Frida's, and Diego's is at 630 north and south, right next door.
And you'll see hockey players there from often.
Often. I mean, Matt Adams was in yesterday. He's baseball. But, we have our crew. We have some famous people come in.
Like Frank Cusimano.
Yeah, Frank Cusimano.
Really All right, thanks so much. We'll take a short time out. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Hey, I know we're not at Black Friday yet, but guess what? At Miller Furniture, talk about locally owned. They love giving us deals so much that they have extended the Black Friday sale. It started about a week ago, and it's going to go all the way through December 2nd. And I'm talking big sale, up to $2,000 off all in-stock furniture, tariff-free, American-made. They have all kinds of doorbusters going on for the entire month. And you know what? When you're getting ready to entertain for Thanksgiving, or you're getting ready to think about family coming home for Christmas or Hanukkah or the holidays, and you look around at that tired furniture and think, gosh, I think I could do a little better than that. The place to start is at Miller Furniture. Of course, they've got the original location in Belleville, Illinois, as well as Lake St. Louis, Ellisville as well. All the great locations in Fairview Heights, which has the biggest mattress sale, which, by the way, the mattresses are incredibly affordable right now. 25% off all Chatham and Wells, which is their luxury, and then up to $900 off Stearns & Foster's and others. It's a really good time. Check it out at millerfurniture.com. That's MUELLER furniture.com, or better yet, visit one of their 4 locations today.
You've heard so many people talk about Innsbruck. Now it's time to see for yourself. 7,500 acres, 100-plus lakes, on-site restaurants, an 18-hole championship golf course for you to go play by yourself, with some friends, or maybe even a charity event, nature trails, event spaces, and so much more. Innsbruck is 45 minutes from St. Louis. It's so close, and yet you feel so far away. Go see Innsbruck for yourself. Innsbruck-Resort.com.
Royal Banks of Missouri is proudly reinvesting in its hometown of University City. Their new branch at 8550 Olive Boulevard is now open to serve you. Visit their team in University City to discover how they can help you refresh your finances and invest in your future today. Call 314-212-1500 or go to royalbanksofmo.com for more information. Royal Banks of Missouri, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
This holiday season, I feel like Manchester Road, just west of 141, is just one of the fantastic spots in St. Louis you need to be. Marketplace at the Abbey has everything to make your home feel like Santa's workshop. All kinds of wonderful gifts for people. Also, there's the Abbey Baby and then the Abbey's ladies' clothing section. So many gift ideas, so many wonderful things that have already been curated by Laura Wilson, the owner. You can always go online too, marketplaceattheabbey.com.
A big KTRS shout out to Lacey Lumber, family owned and family operated since 1872. Lacey Lumber has built the St. Louis metropolitan area. They've worked with builders and contractors and homeowners. They provide building materials from soup to nuts. 2 hardware stores in Belleville ready to serve you. Millwork, insulating material, wallboard, roofing materials, you name it, Lacey Lumber can help, because Lacey Lumber is just that much better. LaceyLumber.com.
The St. Louis Chess Club is a newly expanded 30,000 square foot state-of-the-art chess center featuring world-class tournament playing halls, classrooms, library, and casual play spaces for everyone who loves the game.
But it's so much more than a place to play.
It's where champions are built on the board, in the classroom, and across the community, with a mission to bring the game to everyone from all levels, with membership starting at just $15 a month.
Discover the excitement, the challenge, and the community of chess at stlouischessclub.org.
For more than 25 years, Boardwalk Hardwood Floors has been a part of the St. Louis community. They sponsor school programs and charity golf events. They bleed blue, and they're honored to call St. Louis home. Boardwalk Hardwood Floors this holiday season is proud to partner with KTRS and Toys for Tots as a primary drop-off location for the toy drive. With 4 convenient showrooms across St. Louis, giving back has never been easier. Bring a new unwrapped toy and help make a child's Christmas a little bit brighter. To find the nearest showroom and drop-off details, go to Boardwalk NorwalkHardwoodFloors.com.
I'm Bob Hardcastle. Listen to my Money Talk radio program every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. on the Big 550, where we discuss your money in an easy-to-understand manner. We have interesting guests, chat about money. We try to help you feel more comfortable with your money by talking about the investment market. Join me. I'm Bob Hardcastle.
Money Talk, Sunday morning at 8 on the Big 550 KTRS.
Your dentures no longer fit? Maybe you're missing a tooth or several teeth. Visit Dr. Bowen for Simply Secure Dentures and Dental Implants. The cutting-edge, high-quality dental implants that replace all the teeth in your mouth, and it starts as low as $7,000, not the $35,000 that others charge. If you're only missing a few teeth, Dr. Bowen can permanently replace those with something you don't have to take in and out of your mouth. Learn more at simplysecuredentures.com and get the care you need and the teeth you want at Bowen Dental Care or simplysecuredentures.com.
Want a song?
Around my mind like the song on the radio.
Want a quote? It's the song and quote of the day on the Frank and Jill Show. Right here on the Big 550 KTRS.
Welcome back. Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. Our song of the day is, like the young people will just simply know it because it was in the movie Elf. I don't even know if it's young people anymore. How old is Elf?
It's like 24 years old at this point.
Oh, my gosh. Can you believe that?
I know. I do think of it as sort of the new class of Christmas movies, but that's not fair. It's definitely been around for a quarter century now. So
with the discussion of pennies in the United States nowadays, we thought that this song, Pennies from Heaven, performed by the great Louis Prima, would be a perfect song of the day. Pretty good song.
yeah, it's very, very fun. So speaking of the penny, I notice, and you guys are good on quick math here, but so many tax rates within cities are not multiples of 5. So it's the tax that gets added to the price of something that creates an uneven number that requires something beyond, so it's eight.
Yeah.
It's 348 instead of 345 or 350. So is it just going to be the place where always cash transactions? It's always going to be round up. So we're not going to change tax rates to always be multiples of 5.
Yeah. So they have these signs up at the gas station, and I assume elsewhere. I assume it's not just at the gas station that says they round up or down depending on whichever way is closer. So if you're 11 cents, $1.11, it goes down to $1.10. I think.
Okay.
What if it's 3?
Yeah, I mean...
3, I think they're going to round up. That's for the house, Frank.
Okay.
That's...
Gotcha.
But if you just buy with a card, they still give you the exact amount because it doesn't... You don't need change, so...
Yeah, it's really only an issue for cash transactions. One study is estimating it could cost consumers approximately $6 million annually, but that's amortized out over, 35 million people over the cost of it. I don't think most of us are going to notice much of a difference, but it is just a strange phenomenon to think about not having pennies anymore. I get it. If it costs 4 cents to make a penny, it makes sense to not spend more than the actual coin is worth.
I think we should go farther. We just get rid of the quarter too, and then everything's to the first decimal, and then that's that.
Just have nickels and dimes.
Just nickels and dimes.
Now, the amount of people paying with cash. So according to AI, approximately 82% of adults in the U.S. have a credit card, which translates to about 40% of in-store transactions being made with credit cards. I would think that would be low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you go to the store now, don't you almost all the time?
And do you think that includes debit cards too?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question.
Because I would think, they are obviously a little of both, but I think that would include both of those as well. And yes, I don't see very many people paying with cash. Although I do have the experience when you go to, and you probably have too, like when I've gone to the Missouri Valley Conference tournament at Enterprise Center, there's always the old school, I'm going to say guy, but goes up, pulls his wallet out to pay for his, beer and French fries. And they say, sorry, sir, we don't take cash here. And there's just great offense taken because they're like, I'm a cash person. I don't want to use my credit card. How can you force me to use my credit card?
Not to stereotype, but I think of a lot of Italian men that they always have a lot of cash in their pocket. This is part of their demeanor.
Is that something that you do, or are you a
No,
credit card guy?
I don't have any money, period. But a lot of old Italian guys, they just want to break out that wall and just see all these hundreds.
I usually was the ATM at our house where I just would have, because somebody would need money for something, and so I try to have a set amount.
Yeah.
And then, of course, when I would go to use my wallet because I needed the $20 to pay somebody, my ATM had been cleaned out by then. And finally, I told everybody it was every person for themselves. They had to get their own cash.
That's good. All right. Do you have a quote of the day?
I do have a quote of the day. And I thought, by the way, thank you for the continued notes coming in about the passing of my mom over the weekend. It's good to be back at work and get back in the routine, but I really have been comforted by all your notes as well. But I thought it might be kind of a fun day to have a little bit of a laugh from one of our very favorites, of course, St. Louis's own Kathleen Madigan.
That is awesome.
Wait, this next one is really good too. I mean, isn't she good?
She is so good.
You get the bettors in the room will have to confer
Yes.
about whether that's actually true. Can you actually bet on cricket matches in Mumbai?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so that's
I
not
had a friend
just
who
for
told me
comedy.
he was betting on the African national team cup. So it's like he was betting on Madagascar versus Cameroon, and he took Madagascar plus 12.5, and they covered. So I guess that was a good bet, but I think that's a little too much.
Yeah, boy, that is crazy.
I guess her point is if it's just two teams against each other, you got a 50% chance.
Yeah, like Russell Crowe was talking about how in his country that they have analytics on cricket, and they have these analytics guys that really study and give you an idea of what to bet on. So
Yeah, that's funny. And I guess that begs the question. I mean, her point is this, it's sort of throwing a dart at the board because who's going to know who the winner is? I guess that's part of the point is you could do all the analytics in the world, but half the time it just has to come with.
Absolutely.
From the Royal Banks of Missouri text line, my husband and I are cash people. We keep an envelope of cash in the house, and if we run out of cash, that's on us. Dave Ramsey's a big person who advises people on finances and getting out of debt. He's a big put your cash in an envelope and pull it out to pay stuff because then you're more honest about what you're actually spending.
Dave Ramsey's got some really good thoughts.
Yeah, he's old school about a lot of stuff, but a lot of people have gotten out of debt for sure because of him. Somebody else who's really good at helping people who are confused and could need some support, our friend Ryan Raphael. He is the Medicare man. We are right in the thick of it right now. Ryan could not be busier thanks to so many of our KTRS listeners reaching out and just coming back and saying, wow, I couldn't have done this without Ryan. I feel so much better about my experience going into Medicare and how he's been able to help me with supplements, advantage plans, understanding Part D prescription plans, finding the perfect plan to make sure that I can keep my doctor, I can keep my prescriptions. Ryan's the best at it. And he said he's never been busier and he's never been happier to be able to do what it is he's doing. He actually loves helping people, and he loves helping people with Medicare, and that's why he is the right person for you to call right now. Get your appointment in during the enrollment period from now until December, early December. Call Ryan directly on his cell phone at 314-368-6808 or visit MedicareMan STL.com. For the right plan, call the Medicare man.
This holiday, give the gift that lasts all season long. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now, starting at 5, 6, and 10 games. All packs include 2026's top games and favorite giveaways. Backed by popular demand, choose from the opening day pack or the bobblehead pack. Check out the Cubs pack, weekend pack, or apparel pack. There's a pack for everyone. Find your perfect gift right now at cardinals.com/tickets.
And that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
Busch Stadium isn't just a ballpark. It's where St. Louis comes alive. It's where every pitch matters and every cheer feels like home. Season tickets put you right at the heart of it all. And now there's a new way to be all in. Introducing 20-game season ticket plans. Get all the season ticket benefits with more flexibility than ever. Don't miss your chance to own your piece of 2026. Learn more at cardinals.com/tickets.
Recently, a good friend of mine was changing the light fixture in their kitchen, and they took the light fixture off the ceiling, and they looked inside the ceiling and said, what is the phone number to Michael Baldy? If they would have listened to me, they would have put Michael Baldy's phone number in their phone, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. So here you go. The next time you need an electrician, you need to remember Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. So the phone number, 314-968-9999. Indoor, outdoor, an old Victorian home, knob and tube wiring, and anything and everything in between. You see, Michael Baldy is a licensed electrician, and he has a team ready to go. Whether it's something for the ceiling in the kitchen, something for the lights for the holidays, whatever it may be, Michael Baldy and Baldy Electric. BaldyElectric.com, 314-968-9999, because everybody needs a good electrician on speed dial. BaldyElectric.com.
Hey, it's Heidi, and you've been hearing me talking about my friends at Dalco Home Remodeling. They're locally owned and family operated and have been installing the very best windows and doors in town for the past 50 years. Well, right now is the absolute best time to save on windows at Dalco. For a very limited time, you can earn a $600 tax credit on new windows, plus up to an additional $600 from Dalco on Elite Series windows with 0% financing for 18 months. That's up to $1,200 in credits for new energy-efficient windows from Dalco. This limited-time offer ends November 15th, so don't wait. Give them a call today at 314-298-7300 to get up to $1,200 in credits for new energy-efficient windows from Dalco. That's 314-298-7300 or online at DalcoHomeRemodeling.com. As they've always said, if you buy somewhere else and find out how much you could have saved at Dalco, you'll blow your stack. 314-298-7300.
A message from the master. If you are looking for that one-of-a-kind gift this year, come on in to Newsetter's Fine Jewelers. Let Richard draw your future present for somebody you love. This special engraving lasts a lifetime. At the corner of Big Ben and Doherty Ferry or at wowdiamonds.com.
The University of Missouri-St. Louis is committed to providing top-ranked education. More than 80% of our students receive financial aid. At UMSL, more is what moves us. Find your more and explore your financial aid options at more.umsl.edu.
The Bommarito Automotive Group is Missouri's #1 automotive group. They've sold over 1 million vehicles by giving you a better price, a better selection, and more for your trade. You can shop them online, see their entire inventory at bommarito.com.
Connor, right on top of everything. Perfect, because we are going to talk gambling. Dr. Patrick Risch from Washington University is the best at what he does. He's the executive director of business of sports programs at Washington U. Anytime there's any type of sports economics issue, we go to him on television, and we welcome him to the Frank and Jill Show. Dr. Risch, good to be with you. How are you, sir?
Good, Frank. Thanks for having me on, as always.
Got a lot to talk about. Just give us a general thought. How is our world going to be different starting December 1st in St. Louis?
Well, I'll probably have more distracted students. That's the beauty of mobile betting, right? We'll be in the middle of talking about Caitlin Clark and her marketing power on the WNBA, and some kid will be betting on a Lakers game. Well, Frank, it is, it's the business that we've chosen, as we say in The Godfather 2, where these leagues in a state like Missouri, you welcome gambling because of the tax revenue dollars that it brings to the state. We've seen other states have generated millions of dollars from the gambling handles that they allow in their states. And yet on the other side of that coin, Frank, is when you allow things like prop betting, which the NBA recently got into some trouble with some of their players, all that extra action, it brings integrity issues that create problems for leagues, teams, and for the betting companies themselves.
Dr. Brish, Jill Farmer here. Thanks so much for joining us today. I understand, I've tried to look into the economics of how many of these sports betting companies are actually making money because their proliferation has been huge. How does sports betting impact the economy of sports? How is it helping owners of sports teams make more money? Is it helping the St. Louis Cardinals? Are they going to make more money because of sports betting, or is that just the sports betting companies that are cashing in here?
Well, that was the theory, and I think the jury is still out. Let me explain. The theory was, okay, if you allow legalized gambling, it's going to improve the engagement by fans. And if you improve fan engagement, they have a stake in the game, so to speak, then they're more likely to watch, which improves ratings. They're more likely to attend. And if they're watching more and they attend more, then this helps in terms of ticket sales. It could help with media deals that are in the process of being renegotiated, or corporate partnership deals. So all of these things are all tied to engagement. So that's the theory. Now, in practice, I can tell you, Frank and Jill, that we have an alum that works at the United Center in Chicago, where gambling is already legal, works for one of the sports teams in the United Center. They have a gaming book inside of their venue, and yet they haven't necessarily seen the uptick, at least in terms of sales as it relates to gaming activity at the stadium, that they were expecting. So in theory, engagement should lead to more business. In practice, in some situations, it's still yet to be determined.
All right, so the NCAA approved a rule change that will allow Division I student athletes to wager on professional sports. This change, I think, went into effect November 1st, but the other day I was talking with Chris May, the athletic director at SLU, and he thinks there may be an alteration here. What's the story?
Well, it's kind of funny, the timing on this, where they approved it, and the Sports Business Journal reports, we're going to allow student athletes, and not just student athletes, Frank, but also people that work in athletic departments to bet on pro sports. And then literally 4 or 5 days later, the NBA scandal breaks. I think that it is going to get modified, if not rescinded, when they meet in January at their annual NCAA meetings. That's not something I know from speaking to anyone. That's just speculation. To me, Frank, the only reason why they legalized it or planning on allowing student athletes and staff to bet was they just didn't want to fight additional litigation. They've got enough on their plate. The NCAA loses a lot of issues, a lot of legal issues. They just didn't want one other thing that they had to manage. But I think that was really, in some ways, lazy. And is it really a positive thing to allow these young people to now go down a path that maybe they're a little too immature to go down?
Dr. Patrick Risch is joining us if you're just tuning in, Director of Sports Business Program and Professor of Practice in Sports Business at Washington University's Olin School of Business. And Dr. Risch, it just feels like to me, and I know I'm naive about a lot of this, it just feels like the Wild West when it comes to this and the sports betting and the technology that allows people to bet from their pocket. Do you think, you mentioned that it might be a little bit lazy that there isn't more regulation from the NCAA potentially on who can bet moving forward. Do you think that we're going to have to put some more constraints or some more reins on this down the line, or is just something we're all going to have to get used to?
Well, there's going to be growing pains, and you look at the fact that Europe has had legalized gambling for much longer than we have. So I think some of what's happened here it will be kind of growing pains in the near future. But that being said, you bring up a lot of interesting things, Jill, as it relates to gambling. First of all, I think that it is a world where we have better integrity in gambling than ever before because of data and technology. There are companies out there that, because of their sophisticated algorithms and metrics, they can detect when there are odd changes in betting activity on whether it's a game, whether it's a prop bet on a particular individual athlete's performance. So we've never been in an environment that's safer from an integrity standpoint. So yes, this latest scandal, the NBA, they sensationalize it because they want to bring attention. They do it at the beginning of the year when people are focusing on the tip-off of these NBA season. But we are in a world now where there is greater integrity. And speaking with yet another WashU alum who has worked in the gaming industry, one of the things they pointed out is, yes, the teams and the leagues want integrity, but guess what? The gaming companies want integrity too, because if you think the game is rigged, do you want to bet with that particular bookie or with DraftKings or MGM? So everybody involved does want greater integrity. I do think the modification you've got to make, and I know the NBA is seriously considering this, is do we remove or eliminate some of these prop bets on individual performances that can be easily manipulated by a single player?
All right. The projected revenue for Missouri could be in the $550 million range from sports betting, and that's with a 10% tax rate. So overall, I know there are a lot of issues with it. It's good for the economy, correct?
Yeah, Frank, it's generating, name other things off the top of your head that could generate that much revenue that quickly. So again, this is what we're saying. This is the business that we've chosen. What else is out there that could generate this revenue, apart from things that we know from our history here in St. Louis are not as popular, like general sales taxes? People that are gaming, it's their choice, and it's generating revenue for the state, can be used for a multitude of things. We're seeing this in other states as well. So it is a positive thing from a tax revenue generation standpoint.
And then what about the actual casinos themselves? I know a lot of people are going to bet on their phone, but Hollywood Casino, River City Casino, they'll have their own sports book. I imagine that will help business, correct?
Well, you would think it would, and I know from going to conferences and listening to people that work in the gaming industry, they talk about how the brick and mortar versus the mobile, that it's more complementary than it is a substitute or a rivalry. But I'm not so sure of that. I do think that the casinos are going to have their sports books, and they're going to use that to try to bring people in while they're there. And they may have some success. But, Frank, what's crazy to me in reading some of the data on gaming is now DraftKings, FanDuel, MGM, a lot of these places are now reporting that more than half of the action, the gambling handle that they receive, is from mobile betting. From mobile betting and in-game betting. So this is betting that takes place once games actually start. When you and I were younger men, you couldn't do that. You would bet on the point spread. You have to place your bet before the game, and that's it. But now, because of technology, because of people's use of their phones, that mobile betting is really going to be so powerful. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if the casinos with their new sports books, legalized sports gambling, will that complement their business and actually be additive, or will people, like for instance, if you want to gamble, I don't have to go to the casino to bet on tonight's NBA, NFL games. I could do it from the luxury of my home and chill out at home. So that's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Great stuff, sir. We will talk soon. Thanks so much for your time.
Okay, thanks, Frank and Jill.
All right. Dr. Patrick Risch, Washington U, joining us on the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS.
Wow, he was great. I learned so much. I could have him on all the time. There's so many questions related to this. Really, really good get to have him. Thank you for that. Our friends at Woods Basement Systems, a lot of you are saying, whew, I don't have water coming in my basement. Lucky me, I'm in good shape. But you may have the issue that happens to a lot of people. You turn on that furnace for the first time and you get a little bit of a musty smell in the house. If you've got a crawl space in your house, chances are good, if you've been ignoring the crawl space and the need to keep it sealed off and insulated, you're going to be paying more when it comes to your heating bill. And also you might be exposing through your air vents some things to your family in terms of mold spores and other things you really don't want to. I know I talked to somebody recently who had bought a property that they were going to use as an investment property, a rental property, and this came up. And I said, no problem. I know exactly who to tell you to call because they've been dealing with basements and crawl spaces since way back in 1986. The other thing that happens in St. Louis, thanks to our freeze and thaw cycle, is a lot of us have driveways where one section of the driveway is a heck of a lot higher than another section, or maybe it's cracked over time. And you have this, it's not only unsightly, but darn dangerous part of your driveway where there's kind of a crevasse between the two sections. And one of the other things that you may not realize is Woods Basement Systems can come out and do that driveway leveling for you. It's going to improve the value of your home. It's going to improve the looks of your home, and it's going to make it safer as well. You can reach out to them today to ask them and get an estimate on either of those things, as well as basement waterproofing and all the other things they do. 618-708-4055, woodsbasementsystems.com.
Be part of the team that keeps America moving. Truck Centers, Inc., a family-owned network of 12 heavy-duty truck dealerships across Illinois, Missouri, and Indiana, has been built on reliability, respect, and relationships for over 55 years. We're hiring skilled diesel mechanics, parts specialists, and collision repair techs with sign-on bonuses for experienced professionals and veterans. Join a team where leadership knows your name and you are valued. Apply today at truckcentersinc.com.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Are you in the custom home market? The one name to know, Workhorse Construction. Brock Harvey, former Mizzou football player, has built Workhorse Construction with 17 years of experience, 17 years of quality control, and Workhorse Construction has 17 years of beautiful, one-of-a-kind designs and styles. Brock Harvey and his partners have built Workhorse Construction to be the best, and you need to see it for yourself. WorkhorseCG.com. That's WorkhorseCG.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Is it time to make a change with your bank? Hi, it's Julie Buck for Triad Bank. They are a full-service financial institution with 2 locations, and they've been around since 2005 with the mission to provide a wide range of commercial and personal banking services. Here's their website. It's triadbanking.com.
All right, welcome back. This is the Frank and Jill Show on the Big 550 KTRS. At about 6:15 today, my wife nudged me. She says, let's go, we got to go. So I drove her to a car rental place, and she rented the biggest van of all time. Not one of those vans that you have just, that are elegant. I'm talking about these full-size vans.
Mm-hmm.
And she and 8 women are going to Nashville as we speak to play in a pickleball tournament.
Oh, fun! Going to Nash Vegas to play a little
They
pickleball.
have a house, and she's cooked all this incredible food last night, and I thought, this is great. And she says, don't touch it. And it's all for the...
So they're all in the van together?
Yeah, van down by the river.
Those, you have to be careful of those. I used to drive those back in my camp counselor days, pulling. We were pulling canoes up to the Boundary Waters and packing 10 kids in there to take them up for a weekend. And
so you mean like an airport shuttle kind of
Yeah.
van?
And I said, "You're going to drive that?" She said, "Yeah, no problem." So they're all excited.
She
about
will be
it.
great. Has she been traveling to other cities to compete in pickleball, or is this the first time for that?
I think this will be her first out-of-state competition.
That's exciting. That's really exciting. What made them decide that they were ready to take their show on the road?
Well, I think one of the guys at MPC kind of set it up. They found a place they could house 8, just kind of a perfect thing. And so I tell you,
That's really fun. And you're saying it with that like a little bit of chagrin, like she shouldn't go, but really you're just excited because you get to batch it for 48 hours.
Yeah, she's out of town again.
My first, it's as soon as I get off the air at 6:30, headed to Costco, not to buy TV, but to buy a lot of unhealthy food.
Even though she's only gone for like 2 days.
Still.
I've been gone for a week, so I need an update on TV Gate. Is it just working better than ever? So you're never going to get a new TV?
Yeah, it worked. Yeah, it's a shame I'm so mechanical and I can fix anything. And
Technical.
fix the TV, yeah.
Got it going again. Turn it off and turn it on.
There was a C wire I had to kind of blend and mesh with the D2 wire, and everything kind of clicked together, and the TV just works. So, you guys need any help with any of your TV stuff?
The fact that you said blend and mesh instead of splice tells me exactly how much you know about.
You could take this opportunity, Frank, just go buy the TV. And then by the time she comes back, it's too late to return it.
Yeah, the other TV's working too well.
It didn't work. It wasn't good. But it is shocking, I have to say, how often turning. No, well,
that is shocking.
That is shocking. I'm going to have to take some time to let that sink in. But how often turning something off for a while and then turning it back on, it's, that's the first thing when the IT guys would come over and I'd say, I've tried everything. And I had turned it off and on, but something about them coming, sitting there, turn it back on, and the whole thing just works perfectly.
Like the IT guy said yesterday, and I had an issue with my computer while I was editing. He said, I think I should really get a desk in here. And then he did exactly what you did. Just turn it off. Turn it off. Fine.
Yeah, my phone often, I'll be so frustrated it won't be working, and I'll think, I don't really have time to go to the Apple store, and my brain is just and then all I do is turn it off and then turn it back on. It's like working like
those
new.
Apple store guys are pretty sharp, though. I'm very impressed with them.
Yeah, it's a model. You often talk about just thinking from the fast food experience if you're going to go get one. Chick-fil-A, the experience of just how seamless they make that whole operation. I do feel like other places could copy off the Apple model. You don't have
I do not.
Apple. So have you ever been to the Apple store?
Most other places don't really have a storefront like that, I guess is the problem. Yeah, of course I've been to the Apple store. But yeah, like Samsung doesn't really have there's no, like, I guess there are Samsung stores out there, but it's not a Samsung store where you go and you're going to get help and you're going to do stuff like that. You just kind of buy from Samsung if you want it.
I would say that some of the other places that sell cell phones have kind of taken that model on where you can make an appointment ahead of time, where you walk in and they kind of put you in order. So it feels like there's some semblance of order to the whole process, even though generally we're there not for fun, but because something's going wrong.
You brought up fast food for a split second. I do want to recommend that the chicken tortilla soup at Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Really solid. I don't think it can be.
Oh, and we had the steak nuggets.
I was just going to ask. Thank you for filling me in on all the stuff I've missed for the last week. So you actually did a taste test.
Yeah, and
both of you did.
They were fine.
Yeah,
yeah.
Not bad.
I thought they were going to be bad, so they were good.
We forgot. We didn't have the sauce when we did it. They probably need a little sauce, but I was impressed.
So it was better than you would have guessed. I would have guessed, but not as good as delectable as the commercial.
The sexiest thing I've ever seen. I mean, it's like, oh my God, it's like getting steak from Ruth's Chris at Arby's. They look that good, but they were still solid. So.
And if you found out behind the scenes that they've sprayed some kind of shellac or acrylic on that steak to make it look that juicy and delectable for sure.
All right, great to have you back, Jill. I'm glad you're doing well. We will take a break. Mr. Carney and Miss Buck coming up next. We'll be back in 22 hours.
At Bank of America, we're proud that more than 20,000 veterans and people with military backgrounds have joined our ranks since 2015. Now we're committed to adding 10,000 more over the next 5 years. By helping veterans achieve their career goals, we're moving from appreciation to action, and together helping expand economic opportunity across America. Visit bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
Between all the holiday parties,
weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
This is the Big 550 KTRS St. Louis, Ladue, Glen Carbon, University City, Edwardsville, Manchester, Wood River, Grafton, and the world.
Streaming live at KTRS.com.
Depend on it.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. It's day one of the reopening of the federal government after the record 43-day-long shutdown. ABC's Jay O'Brien is on Capitol Hill and says efforts are underway to restore back pay and critical services, including SNAP benefits.
This is the first day of the government fully functioning again. So they said SNAP recipients will start to see benefits depending on their states, because the way benefits are processed depends on the state. But starting today, perhaps a little bit tomorrow, federal employees, 1.4 million who have been going without pay. Some have been showing up to work and been deemed essential, like air traffic controllers. Others who have been furloughed, they'll start to get paid over the weekend.
The office of Pennsylvania Democratic Senator John Fetterman says he was hospitalized after sustaining a fall near his home. He had a ventricular fibrillation flare-up upon evaluation and is now recovering, according to a statement. A key court hearing today in the federal cases against former FBI Director James Comey and New York Attorney General Letitia James, both accusing the Trump administration of fraudulently appointing the U.S. attorney who indicted them. After President Trump called for the ouster of the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, Trump's former insurance attorney Lindsay Halligan was installed but had no experience as a prosecutor. Her appointment ultimately approved by Attorney General Pam Bondi. Here's ABC's Catherine Folders.
In that ratification that